What up, y'all? So this is Gigawing. It's not really a speed run, but you'll see similarities, I think, just in routing and what I had to do to practice and everything like that. But this is a 1cc attempt, which means I'll be attempting to defeat the game in 1 credit. So in the arcade, that would just be the equivalent of using 1 quarter and playing through the entire game. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And this is Edenal. He's going to be doing commentary, and then Shadow Killer. So yeah.
We'll try.
Yeah.
We are using Stuck. He's just the character that I like. His plane is the wider stand. So, I mean, I guess we can start time kind of whenever, but we'll do it in 3, 2, 1, go.
You're losing time already.
Cutscenes. All right.
So yeah, I mean, it's a vertical shmup. If you guys aren't familiar with that, the screen is scrolling vertically and I'm shooting them up. So this game is a little unique. It's similar to Radiant Silvergun in the fact that it is vertical scrolling, but it has a horizontally mounted screen, and that's not very common. It was released in 1999 on the CPS2 arcade board, which was presented by Capcom, and it got ported to Dreamcast later that year, and that's why I started playing it. And it's a rad game. So this is the first iteration of The Stranger. He's just this mysterious ship who's kind of following us around. Took care of him pretty easily. You'll notice there's this large barrier around my ship. That's called the Reflect Barrier, and that's a major mechanic that we use throughout the game. I'm tapping right now, and I am playing on pad. Sorry for all you shmup boys out there that are actually good at games. But by tapping the shooting button, I just get this regular attack. But by holding it, I get the Reflect Barrier, and it does pretty much what it sounds like. It reflects the enemy's bullets back to him and does damage. On top of that, if I was going for a high score run, it would be producing medals that give me more of a multiplier and a better score.
So you'll see when the enemies are shooting at him, the bullets here are based on where he's at when they're shooting. So it's a dynamic pattern, and there are set patterns which will usually come from bosses that will just always be the same pattern. So whatever, he doesn't need to care about where he's located. But he'll try to be a little bit off-center to offset the pattern so he can move in a favorable position.
For whatever reason, this building also, you blow it up, but it always shoots 2 bullets. I don't know why that is, but it's a thing.
Deuce mentioned earlier he went with the character Stuck. Stuck has the strongest, I believe, straight beam, but he's also the slowest ship, so that puts him at a little disadvantage for a shmup. The other character's a little bit quicker, wider beams and stuff like that, but he can do the most damage with Stuck, so that's why he goes with him.
Yeah, these green flurries you're kind of seeing off the side of the ship are actually bombs that are being shot out. So I'm getting pretty close to certain enemies when they're coming off screen, and you see me kind of just dancing left and right. And I use the bombs just kind of to hit the tail end of enemies. And if I quit shooting, you'll see they scroll up right here, and I can shoot them in different directions, and you can just kind of swag on these cannons a little bit. But yeah, that's the end of the first stage pretty much. This is the final boss here. I don't know why you do barrel rolls if you go a certain amount, but
Swag.
Peppy Hair would be psyched. Again, I just use the Reflect Barrier to get in here and do as much damage as I can, and then swing back and forth between these guys. Now, the difference in a score run, I'd really be milking these. You do less damage with the Reflect Barrier than when I'm shooting in using the Reflect Barrier. This is a pretty good example of me waiting and then swinging the bullet patterns around to give me a more favorable position so I can come up here and do direct damage to the medallion. The medallion's also the main enemy in this game, and you'll see him throughout the rest of the game. Pretty chill patterns, though. Over here as well, I'm staying hugged on the left side of the screen. If I were to go out into that open water, there'd be a torpedo attack that he'd be throwing out that I'd also have to be dodging. All right, that's stage 1.
Nice.
Let's throw it over to Bobby here for
Yeah.
a quick message?
I mean, I suppose it'll be a bit quick. We have a $100 donation from Duck Fist.
Yo.
My man.
Says, yo, Deuce and Dudes, it's awesome that you learned GigaWing and got it into ESA. Wish I could be there to hang with y'all. Good luck with the runs and enjoy the week. Put this towards naming Butts PPMA in Final Fantasy V.
There we go.
Yo, thank you, Duck. So it's cool that he brought a donation in. Duckfist is actually the reason I started playing shmups. So without him just coming to my house with a handful of Saturn, Dreamcast, arcade shmups and saying like, you like video game music and you like hard stuff, you will play these all weekend and you will like it. And yeah, here we are. The main reason I don't play on the Dreamcast version, it's pretty funny actually. The Dreamcast is a superior console if you guys didn't know. But the board that the Dreamcast uses is actually more powerful than the CPS2 board, so there's zero slowdown or lag from any of the bullets. So some of the boss patterns we're going to see later on they're doable. I mean, I've done it, but consistently they're much more difficult to dodge just because of the speed.
Speaking of Dreamcast, do you want to tell the crowd, the 15,000 people, what you did to your Dreamcast?
Oh yeah, so I have a Dreamcast run coming up tomorrow. Dave Mirra's Freestyle BMX. It's pretty much the upper echelon of speed games. But yeah, I went ahead and plugged that into a 240 volt, non-American source, and it fried the CPU.
The magic smoke escape.
Oh yeah, if you blow up that battleship that's in the background, that like kind of light fixture shoots blue bullets, but if you do it quickly enough, it shoots out metals for you. You also see I'm picking up bombs throughout here, so I keep my bombs unless I die, and then it reverts back to the original stock of 2. And I can have a maximum of 7 bombs in my inventory at any time. These enemies are pretty cool. You actually get more medals or medallions if you let them open up. And then this little column right here, if you're ever playing and you just want to chill out, you can line yourself up with it and shoot, and they apparently don't know what to do. That was some entrance. All right, this is another instance of kind of a fixed boss pattern that I'm aware of. So I'm going to swing to the left here and dodge these bullets when he opens up. And that's a place in the Dreamcast where those bullets don't slow down at all, and it's pretty treacherous when you do it. Okay, that sucks, but we're going to make that work anyway. I normally don't reflect there, but I didn't kill the left side and ended up getting some extra bullets. No big deal. The graphics in this game are actually really sick. You just saw that large beam that the medallion was shooting out of his center. A lot of really cool graphical effects that they put in here. Here's stage 2.
Nice.
So the first 3 stages in this game rotate based on which character you select. The stage 3 lava stage that we're coming up to right now is actually the first stage for Ruby. And difficulty also scales up as you play through. So Rubies will have the same enemies and the same sub-boss and boss, but the bullet patterns will be slightly different just based on the difficulty. If you're familiar with other shmups, there is kind of a rank system in this game. Rank is pretty much a learned difficulty that the game fixes based on your play. So in some shmups, like Battle Garaga, for example, you'll intentionally suicide to lower the rank because the game will become very difficult and almost unplayable in certain situations. The rank here is adjusted based upon your score at the end of the level. So my bomb reserve will affect score, and if you do a perfect run, you kill all the enemies, anything like that, and the game will take that and calculate out your rank. It doesn't really affect us that much. I'm not really even going for score at all. I can have way, way higher of a score here, but we're just trying to smoke through this and not get hit.
Yeah, like you said earlier, if he were doing a high score run, he'd be using the shield a lot more and like actually going for all the medallions and everything like that. It's a much different run.
But we're going for speed here. So And if he would be going for score, he would be staying at bosses for a much longer time, not doing damage at any given time, just get more medallions.
And it's pretty obvious, but if you see that bar in the bottom left of the screen, that is the charge for the reflect shield. There's a little robot guy that says, okay, when it's ready.
Okay.
Okay.
I intentionally shoot this over here because those bullets suck. Ooh, baby. You're probably like, oh man, I could do this. This is pretty chill. And it is. These first 3 stages are pretty whatever. But the difficulty in stages 4 and 5 decide to kick you in the mouth a little bit. So it'll be all good. You may have saw that red ship that just came from the bottom dock down there. That's actually the bus. And
Dodging with your whole upper body.
yeah, dude. Sometimes you got to put the D-pad's just not enough. But that's actually the boss. And there's a point right here. I want you guys to watch him. For the longest time, I didn't understand this dialogue until I realized that he literally just nuked an entire city. I've never seen such an inhumane disregard either, dude. So this boss is kind of the first step up in difficulty, in my opinion. He has quite a few shots that ring out, and his pattern changes much more frequently than the other bosses do. You also may have noticed that at the end of the stage, there's a boss break counter. And if you get 100%, you get a higher score. So if you're playing and you only get 95, it's because that little cargo thing that I just destroyed actually counts for 5% of the boss. So this pattern gets a little dicey sometimes. Oh, that was dumb. But we good. All right. So yeah, that is stage 3.
Well done. Let's throw it over to Bobby for a bit.
All right, because, well, first off, I want to stress that Final Fantasy V, the main character incentive, is getting pretty wild right now because while Duckfist had donated to put PPMA across the grid, we have a $65 donation from Rasmus that puts J Primo at $1 ahead.
That a boy, Rasmus. Thank you very much.
J Primo is the liberty we need, and J Primo is the Final Fantasy.
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
All hail. Thanks, Rasmus. All right, you'll see the stranger's back with a new ship, and he's got some pretty wild patterns, but our ship is small enough, we're just going to kind of hang out and just dodge all the bullets. We have some of the same enemies here, but you'll notice right off the bat that they have also upgraded their ships and have some pretty wild attacks.
Yeah, so in some other, shmups and games, that if you get a certain amount of points, you get an extra ship or whatever. In this game, you don't. That just doesn't happen unless you kill one certain enemy when you have 0 lives left. Then they throw you a bone and you get 1 more. That's the only way to get an extra life.
Yeah, that's in this stage as well coming up. It's a pretty big area for the scoring if you're playing as well. But yeah, you have to have 0 lives here in order to get the 1-up, which thankfully we don't have.
So here's a very good example of directional bullets there. They'll be coming at him depending on where he is on the screen. You'll see small straight bullets, which are shooting out very fast. They're also an example of these bullets. Whereas the big patterns are usually fixed patterns. That's easier to dodge if you know.
All right.
If you know how to. Dusel was telling me before that he was training for this game for over a month until he beat it for the first time. And it was over another month until he beat it for the first time at one continue. So he's been spending a lot of time here.
And he said earlier that at one point he actually got 6 1CCs in a row, which is pretty nuts.
This boss pretty much just has no hitbox. So if you just hang out up here and do your thing, you can just kind of shoot him in the face while he throws a fit and tries to hit everyone else behind you. Whoa. Okay. That was, if you don't shoot him fast enough right there, he does a pattern that you don't dodge, and those bullets came out as he died. So, all right, so this is where the game decides, like, oh, okay, cool, you've been playing Gigawing, but now you're going to play Gigawing. So I'm probably not going to talk, and there might be some heavy breathing in the microphone.
Yeah, so in this 1cc run, the only way to actually beat the game is to beat it in one credit. Otherwise, you will not fight the real final boss. So this is getting really, really tense here, guys.
Yeah, there's this thing, and it's pretty common in shmups if you're familiar with them. It's called the TLB, or the True Last Boss. And a lot of times you don't unlock them unless you clear the rest of the game in one credit, and this game is no exception to that. Yeah, so much like a speedrun, this entire thing is routed. I know where all the enemies are coming. I know where all the bullets should be coming. And I do have reaction to that as well. But most of this stuff, I'm pretty familiar with where they are. And I do have to dodge some of these, like these tanks.
Even though Deuce is a complete monster at this game, bosses can still throw him off. Just because there's so much bullets, so much going on.
Oh, I forgot about that guy. I know all of them except for that guy.
Yeah. So the bombs are actually really helpful because they'll clear the screen of bullets and enemies. So they're kind of a Hail Mary. If you get stuck in a corner or in a bad position and you don't have your shield, you can use a bomb. And you get more bombs as you die. So when he ends up at the final boss and gets in a bad pattern, he can use the bombs, and he can use all his lives if he needs to get bomb replenishment.
I'm going to back out here to make that pattern come down at me just so I can actually dodge it. That pattern is supposed to cross, but you can guide it down like that so it follows you. Yeah, all these... Ooh, shit. Yeah, anyway. All the... I'm just going to shut up.
Yeah, like you said, this is actually Gigawing now.
All right. All right, and that was the last dude right there. So we got a little bit left before the boss.
These guys can be really, really scary. Is it the sheer amount of bullets they put out? Oh, he's just showing off getting the medallions.
All right, this boss has all the bosses have a boss break percentage, and you can break them 100%. This guy's one that pretty much I have to. I'm going to try to destroy his right wing during this first pattern just to give myself a little more favorable position. Okay, that's good. So you see that the circles quit shooting off the right side. Oh, God. Okay. We're in there, boys. We're good. I generally wait until he has a pattern that is very difficult for me to dodge to use my reflect barrier. That's the idea anyway. Yo, this is sick. That happened because I didn't destroy the entirety of his left wing. Like, that one is ridiculous, but you don't.
Nice. Really
There
nice.
we go.
All right. So that is the end of the regular stages. It also appears that I've been involved in an explosion. So now we're heading to another dimension. But this is just a boss battle. And if I were to clear this without losing a credit, then I'll face the true last boss. So we're in a pretty good spot here, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, the medallion has been behind all of this, and it also talks, and it knows Stuck from 30 years ago. So it all makes sense. Don't worry about it.
So here's a good example later where Dusler is going to position himself a little bit to the right of center or the left of center to guide the boss pattern in a way that he can dodge it.
That was really, really close.
This boss is also going to open up, after he destroys the outer hull, it's going to open up and shoot out cannons?
Yeah.
Extract cannons. He wants to kill the right one first, so he doesn't shoot on it. I think that's right.
Yeah, you guys will see what he's talking about. But look at these graphics, dude. The sickest. So this turret that he was talking about can shoot immediately, so I don't get right up in its business, so I can dodge that. All right, I didn't... And you'll see me dodging and using the bombs at the same time, so I can attack both of these enemies while using the bombs to hurt one. And the bombs do more damage than the standard gun, so... And I want to get rid of this turret because he's a pain when I'm fighting this dude. But he should be dead. Alright, things are about to get serious, though. Alright. Alright, that pattern's super fun, man.
Very
I love
nice.
dodging that one.
That's actually Dusler's heart rate you hear right now.
Alright, this is the dumbest pattern in the game. That was for you, Craig.
Just doesn't like using bombs. Don't know why.
Alright, sick. So those are set rings, but he also shoots some that track at you, and he shoots orange bullets that can only be knocked down if you shoot them. So, yeah, there's a set pattern, but then I'm also reacting to other stuff. This one is pretty chill. I just kind of guide it along here. We're pretty much done with this boss, too, so if you guys want to make some noise, I'm down. Like... All right, so normally if you don't clear this point with 1 credit, you actually sacrifice yourself to destroy the medallion, but that's kind of the bad ending. But this is the true last boss, so it turns out the whole time the stranger has been using the medallion. And the history was stuck in the wider stand is that he talked to the medallion 30 years ago to save his wife's life, and he gave him his eye in turn, so I don't know, whatever. Alright, that was not the designed route.
You made it work.
Alright. So we take care of the medallion, and then we come on to the stranger. Alright, easy does it. And you see me getting way up in with the bombs, and I can actually shoot while I have the reflect force. This pattern is so stupid, dude. Woo, mama, I forgot about those. All right. I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident we're in the clear here, so...
Oh, you said that about Shack Attack as well.
Oh,
damn.
Shots.
Calling it out, son. All right, I took that death intentionally so I could get some bombs here.
really hope I didn't jinx it now.
Oh, Jesus H. Or Holy Jeebus, Rasmus. All right, there we go, boys.
Give it up, guys.
What was that? Oh, I guess.
Whew, yeah, time.
All right. Wasn't really speed.
Yeah, so that is Gigawing, and I'm really hyped that just happened.
That was really sick.
That was
So-
not guaranteed, by the way.
Yeah.
No,
By no means.
but I did want to kind of say thank you to everyone at the Shmups Forum for always being not only up on video quality and the hottest tech around, but for really keeping track of kind of the history of a lot of these old shmups and having resources available. Again, Duckfist for actually introducing me to the genre and letting me know what the superior kind of game is. And then also to BK Roo, who is the runner that really inspired me to pick up Stuck. He actually did 2 reflectless 1cc's of this game, which means he cleared it without using the reflect barrier at all, and it's super insane. But yeah, thanks to all of them for being super supportive, and thanks for tuning in, man. ESA, thank you for letting us play some shmups here. It's a super underrated thing that you guys should check out. But yeah, thanks for having me.